she had learned that unless you ask an angel to help you, angels cannot come through. But I've since come to understand, similar to the ideas of being a super attractor, if you are in the likeness of an angel's vibration, you actually attract them towards you.
Gabby Bernstein, a role model for spiritual seekers. At one point in time, you had told me that I had this angel called Peter, and that he was like a gatekeeper, and that he was there to protect my energy when I was like in a book signing, like kind of like a bodyguard is how you described him. And I have since felt his presence. And I wonder, is it possible that that angel has like traveled with my soul, or like what can I know about that connection? Has it been going on for a long time? Is it specific to this lifetime? Like, is it all of the above?
Yeah, all of the above. I believe that our guardian angel is like our soul's gatekeeper. They kind of record our soul's journey and the evolution of our soul. They've been with us for lifetimes upon lifetimes upon lifetimes. So I believe the soul is recycled. I believe we come back many times. And what I've come to understand is that many people feel drawn to angels naturally. I've always felt a deep rapport. And I think the reason that many people feel drawn to angels, and the stats are really cool. It's like, you know, in the US, it's 8 out of 10 people believe in angels.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. So it's big stats, right? And out of those 8, 1 in every 10 believe they've had a direct experience of the angelic. So it's big stuff. I believe that many of us feel drawn to angels because we're actually remembering them from before.
Yeah.
So if you feel like, oh my goodness, I feel my presence, my guardian angel, or I feel, you know, like I want to connect with them, it's because before you were in this body, you were dancing across the stars together and you're remembering them from before.
I mean, dancing across the stars.
I mean, you definitely danced across the stars.
Mm-hmm. 100%. 100%. And I want to keep dancing even here. I have this angel that I channeled prior to having that confirmation from a medium. I had been doing some energy work at a period of time on myself and then on my husband. And I would start channeling this angel. She referred to herself as Lily. And she's just extraordinary, like beautiful blonde, very young and healthy and just vibrant and just long blonde hair. And she'd come through and I would just continue to listen to her direction as I was helping people, particularly in my marriage and my husband helping him. Maybe a month after this is years ago, like a decade ago, my friend Rebecca Rosen, who's another medium who I adore, came to me and gave me a reading. And then she said, "Who is Lily?" And that confirmation, and then she affirmed, of course, that Lily is indeed an angel that works with me. And every single time Rebecca gives me a reading, you know, a lot of times mediums don't remember what they say, but every single time Rebecca gives me a reading, she's always like, "There's a Lily here again," you know, or like, "Lily's
Right.
back." And so I wonder how much guides and angels use mediums as a way of confirming that their presence is there, right? So like you said, we can connect to angels on our own. We have that ability. But sometimes will an angel use another, angels will work through people, maybe even a medium or whatever, but will work through other humans to present their message.
100%. And it doesn't always have to be a trained medium. It can just be
a person,
someone. Yeah. So yeah, I think angels they love to come through and to give us confirmation. You know, because I think what happens when people have these experiences or they feel like they're being visited off of a presence, often we also question that and be like, you know, is this actually happening to me? Or am I just, you know, playing make-believe? Or, you know, we might fear that we're losing our mind a little bit. And so when we get that confirmation through someone who's got the ability to channel, it just gives us that confidence to keep running with it. But I've also discovered that, you know, there's that quote from the Bible that says we can be entertaining angels unawares. And I've always loved that idea. And there's this one person that I know who started a kindness charity in Scotland. And they spoke about like how acts of kindness can change someone's life. And so she started this thing where she encourages people to do random acts of kindness to make them feel safe or seen or supported. And so there was this one person who was taking the bus every day, and he saw this one person sitting on the bus for like maybe 10 years. same bus every day, same person. But this one day, because they had heard about this random acts of kindness, they decided that they were going to go over to this person and be like, hey, how are you doing today? I've noticed we've seen each other on this bus for 10 years and never spoken. And so they did so. And that person said to them, I can't believe you're speaking to me after all these years. And she said, I said to God this morning that if no one speaks to me today, I'm going to leave this earth. And and said, this is it. I've had enough. I don't want to be on this planet anymore. And then this person just randomly gets inspired to go over to that person, perform the random act of kindness, in turn, save a life.
That's right. So that's the person who was going to take their life. That's their angel guide working through that person practicing the random act of kindness. Okay.
Right.
Big unpacked. Let's unpack that moment. So for all of our listeners, I believe that anyone listening to Dear Gabby is angelically inclined. Okay. From the standpoint
100%.
of having an openness, a desire, a willingness, and a ability to connect. We all have an ability to connect, but particularly those of us who are willing, right? And open. Whenever, I guess this is a teachable moment, whenever our listeners have those inspired moments of, I feel called to express love in a form that's not going to be unsafe or whatnot, that could be, that hit of inspiration could be the presence of an angel coming through.
100%. And I think that that's when you become the angel's angel, because angel just means messenger of God. So you're the messenger's messenger,
I think that a lot of nurses and doctors are the angels, many of that, therapists.
Most people in service. Yeah. I also want to, because I've listened to your show a lot, and I know that you're a huge advocate for therapists. And I wanted to tell you this story about a therapist that came to see me in London recently, because she was always interested and open to angels, but it was never part of her thing. And she had learned that unless you ask an angel to help you, angels cannot come through. But I've since come to understand, similar to the ideas of being a super attractor, if you are in the likeness of an angel's vibration, you actually attract them towards you. So this woman who's a therapist was working with this guy. He was an addict, and she was trying to help him so much. In her mind, she's like, I just need to find a way to help this person crack through this. And all of a sudden, and she's never done anything like this in her life, this figure appears in the room and starts giving her clear direction, clear instruction, telling her what she needs to say to this guy. And it starts to help him turn his mindset around, which in turn helped him make a recovery. And so she was desperate to ask me about, how did that happen? Because I never called in an angel, everything I read. And I said, well, it's because your desperation to help him, your deep driving desire to be of service, created this vibration that attracted the angels towards you, so that they could help you both through that. Isn't that incredible?
Well, it's such a great distinction, because I want to talk about what it means to invoke that angel consciously. And then what we can speak of here is that when we are in alignment with our super attractor power, with our connection to a source of our own understanding, we are vibrating at the frequency of the angelic realm. And therefore, what we open up our awareness, our conscious awareness, to receive that kind of guidance, whether it be direction, just like so like when I'm on stage, there are times when I just, and my inner dialogue is taken over, and I am channeling angelic voices. And particularly, and even in like Q&A things, when I feel very directive, like I am here, and you'll hear me say, like, I am hearing this.
I've seen you do it.
Yeah, you've seen me do it. And it's often for me in the direction of helping people elevate their highest purpose. That's how I'm used typically. Okay. So not like, oh, dad wants you to know this thing. I'm more like, the angels are coming through me specifically to use me as a conduit for up-leveling connection to spirit and high purpose. And so that's one way of receiving. You get into the vibration, the angelic connection and support comes through. Another way, that language that I have borrowed from you and like have felt such generous language of being able to invoke an angel, is to say, thank you, angels, for revealing to me what it is I need to know, or revealing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just talk about that language of how we welcome in that presence. I like the words thank you because it's affirming that they're already doing it, that it's already happening.
Right. Because angels love us saying thank you. And the reason they love us saying thank you isn't because they want praise. It's because the gratitude that we genuinely feel is going to magnetize towards us miracles. Like that's ultimately why angels love us saying thank you. So we know that gratitude is one of the highest vibrations possible. And so angels operate on that gratitude frequency. When we are in gratitude, angels are close by. So we can say, angels, thank you for revealing your presence. Thank you, angels, for reminding me that you're here with me. Thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know. And the reason that that's so powerful is because most people go to prayer as kind of like their final thing. Like, I've done everything else. Now I'm going to drop on my knees and pray. And so when we go to prayer, most of the time we're in a lack mindset where we don't believe what we need is possible. Whereas if we go in a state of gratitude, praying when things go right, not just when things go wrong, we open up a clearer channel for us to be able to invoke more help and more presence and more love.
It strengthens the conversation. It makes it more second nature as well.
Yeah, I always say to people, it's like when you're developing a connection to the angels, you don't want to be that friend that just shows up when things go wrong all the time. Because we know how much of a bummer that is.
Right.
You want to be that friend that's like, hey, I'm really grateful for this blessing and I'm really grateful for this experience. That's how you open it up. And so I started to teach people to use thank you, angels, as a mantra. Every time things go right, thank you, angels. Every time, like the clouds part and the sun comes through, thank you, angels. And the more we do that, we bring their presence in, and that's when we start to be able to hear them.
If you like this video and you want to get more Gabby, check out the next one right over here.